Can we take it out of the 4th district's?
Since he's not here, I'll split it with you.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd appreciate that too much.
he should have been here.
We'll go on then to the landfill and so, anybody else have anything on the road you want to ask him?
No.
Okay. Landfill solid waste report.
As you guys saw on the bills list, we were entering the 2nd month of the rent on that compactor. The running compactor replaced the 2 that got burnt down. I sent you guys a memo concerning where I'm at with that and what I recommend moving forward with purchasing one. I would like to purchase the one we were renting at this point in time. A couple reasons why is actually the units worked out really well. We've had a few minor maintenance stuff. Yesterday I started it messed up, but they're paying someone to come fix it. Little solenoids, little minor stuff, but outside of that, it's been a very clean unit. The only thing that concerns me about the unit is got 13,500 hours on the engine, and I've discussed that with some of you guys. I had the company provide a quote to us on what would it cost to rebuild the engine, so that when we purchase it, we get a unit that's got a rebuilt engine in it and will last several years. $181,000 is what they're requesting for that, for the entire unit and the rebuilt engine. Our insurance proceeds will cover up to $178,000. So my recommendation, I would say let's purchase that unit on the condition that they rebuild the engine.
Now, because the $28,000 we paid in lease payments is applied to the purchase price.
Directly towards the purchase price.
Directly to the purchase
Yeah,
price.
so we're already $28,000 into this machine.
You reckon he can go and throw a haul wheel in there too? $7,000 haul wheel and get it to us since we're going back?
I've discussed that, and the answer to that is no.
Didn't get that.
I tried.
And just for those that have not been at every fiscal court meeting, we had a fire on one of our compactors several months ago. And by requirement, by regulation, you have to have a compactor versus a dozer at the landfill to compact the garbage. And so there's only 2 or 3, 4 companies in the whole nation that specialize in this type of equipment as far as used.
That will rent it.
That will rent it. Once it gets into the landfill, it becomes
Less valuable.
It gets all that stuff wrapped, the plastics are wrapped around it and so forth. And so anyway, make a long story short, Brad's making a recommendation to the court to go ahead and purchase this machine at $181. Of course, we'll deduct all the deducts that we got in place.
And at the end of the day, your insurance is covering $178 of that price.
This will rebuild it for him.
Actually, the gentleman in E-Town, Rick Allen, will rebuild it. They worked out a deal with him. Our warranty will be through the gentleman in E-Town, earth moving equipment.
And he's been a good serviceman.
Right, well, he's actually rebuilding the other engine for our compactor at this point in time right now. So we'll get a 6-month, 1,000-hour warranty through him, which is about the best you can ask, in all honesty, on heavy equipment. That's about all you'll ever get on a rebuilt engine.
How's that coming along, the second one?
It's coming along slower. Rick had a tornado come through 2 weeks ago and tore one of his shocks down. So he's been dealing with that, which slowed him up a little bit on ours. I talked to him yesterday. He's working on it. He had a little bit of stuff to deal with there when that storm came through.
I need a motion to accept Marcel, M-A-R-C-E-L, is that right, Brad?
That's correct.
Marcel's equipment's price on the used garbage compactor. Okay. Thank you, Barry. Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carried.
Okay, on the same, before we get too far off that particular subject, now we've got the unit that was completely burnt and totaled out, and the insurance company is offering, if we want to purchase that unit back, they call it high salvage value of $5,500. I'm just throwing that on the table, you guys, if that's an option you guys want to consider. And I'll give you the reasons why you may want to consider it. I don't care, it's flip a quarter either way for me. You can take what's still valuable on the machine that got totaled out would be your axles, your planetaries, your cylinder that lifts the blade up and down, the blade itself, and the wheels. Those units, those particular parts, trust me, it's worth more than $5,500. Don't know when we'd have a need for them, I really don't. Sometimes we use that stuff, sometimes we don't. It may be next year I need it, it may be 5 years down the road that I need those
We
parts.
can sell it 5 years down the road for $5,500, whatever scrap value is.
55 sale, they come up with that as the scrap value. That's exactly, basically, you do the math on it, and that's what you're going to get. Yeah, roughly. But now, don't get me wrong, it is a task to haul this thing. For us, the county can't haul it. I mean, we'll have to take it in parts, apart, and cut it up and haul it. I mean, we just don't have the piece of equipment.
Well, I mean, they'll come out and cut it up right on our site.
Oh, we'll cut, we got something to cut it up.
Yeah, but they'll come do it and still pay the same price, probably.
Don't know, I haven't had to.
Yeah, I'm
They
sorry.
got companies. that-
Okay. So, just so you know, just so you all can make a decision for us, you know.
I think since you know everything about it, I think you ought to make that decision. I definitely agree with
Okay.
the part, but you know what's going on, you know what the stuff's worth, you know what we need off of it. I'd absolutely, and it's in a landfill anyway, so I'd absolutely say keep the machine for them parts. If we need one piece off that thing, costs
yeah,
$5,000.
And I hate to say this, but one time I almost agree with you.
I don't get me
I agree
wrong.
with Sam too, get rid of it, so I could go, but the part that costs you $3,000 or $4,000 is used.
Fairly.
I'm talking about just one used part.
Then getting it shipped in here.
Don't get me wrong, the engine's done. It got so hot that you wouldn't even trust it. I've even tried to say if we kept it, I would sell it to this gentleman who's gonna rebuild ours. He said he wouldn't even trust it. He'd have to send it out for it to work the same way with the transmission. But all these other parts are more internal within the wheels themselves.
Right.
So they were probably protected. But it will be a piece of equipment I got sitting around, guys. I mean, I'll pull it somewhere and we'll pull parts off of it as needed.
Can't have the landfill to a, you know.
Keep it.
Yeah.
They'll give it to you, they're gonna have to pay somebody $4,000 to haul it off, they'll just give it to you.
I am-
But.
Scrap metal man come get it for it.
I brought that to the young lady's attention, and she basically said if you'd like to submit a bid as well against people bidding on it, then you're more than welcome to, but, or we just have to pay the high value.
Just pay the price, keep the machine.
So what they'll do is when we spend up, you know, I still got money left to buy this other one that I was telling you guys I can spend up to 178, they'll just deduct this amount from that check that they owe us. We won't write a check, guys, we just won't get as big of a
Right.
check. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we retain the old machine
Thank you, Sam.
at a price of what, 55?
5,500 is what.
55.
But if Brad can make some negotiation skills with them,
Yeah.
so be it, let Brad be in charge. of
I'll
it.
work it. I've sent one email and got denied, I'll send another.
Don't hurt that.
Second by Bernard Ice. Y'all don't decide to listen to this side conversation here. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove. Motion carries.
That's a better buy than rocks.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
He's still up there. You never let it go, do you?
Moving forward.
I was thinking that.
I'm on the rocks also.
I did have the pre-bid meeting yesterday for the mechanics building. We have our bid opening the 11th. And once I get those bids, guys, I'll give you a summary. I'm not going to be here that 17th meeting, but I really need to look through those bids. I don't want to proceed too quickly into that. So there was just a few general questions yesterday, nothing major. I mean, it was simple. I think we got 5 people
Interesting.
that are indicated that they would submit a bid on it.
Okay, under old and new business, last court meeting, the fire department had requested, and court had already discussed previously about some assistance at the training center with some concrete work. This would be paid out of the occupational tax fund because the whole community will benefit by fire training station. They came up with a scope of work and then gave it to all the contractors. I made a copy of the front page general terms there. The apparent low price was still Troy Mauser at $10,795, provided that I could receive all of his certificates of insurance and documents that we would need. I would ask fiscal court to approve.
Something else I noted in this, and I was talking to Trevor about it earlier, if we let them, if we buy the rebar and the concrete, there may need to be some bricks to uphold the matted steel. So I think they also need to be added. The bricks and the tie wire will need to be furnished by us also.
And how much-
If we purchase the half-inch rebar. We purchased rebar and we purchased the concrete. I think the tie wire needs to be added to that. They've got like a little concrete brick that'll hold up this half-inch mat.
Okay.
Because that's a heavy matted steel,
That's
6x6. When you're out there pouring it and you're stepping on it, you don't want that mat to be on the bottom of it, because it'll be perfect, so it's gotta be up in the middle of the slab. So just as long as that's added
No
too.
problem.
That way it don't cost the contractor, whichever one.
That'd be minimum balance.
Yes, yes, oh yeah, I didn't want to have to throw it onto that, whoever gets it.
You guys have any comment, Trevor or Chief?
No, and we have a minimal amount of supplies that we've saved from other projects, some tie wire, possibly a few pieces of rebar that we can provide them to use on the project as well.
Is there a motion to approve the contract with Troy Mauser for the training center? Terry Hahn, can I give a second?
I'll second.
Second by Keith Metcalf. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you, fellas. We'll work out the details and I'll get you a PO and so forth, I'm sure. Okay. Any other business from the court? members?
Just talk to Mark Rogers about
I did,
loans.
I did. He will be back to that.
Good, because that's a mess.
I did. Anything else, guys?
Anything on what we've been discussing on the rental thing?
On the crops, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that real briefly. In fact, out in the industrial park, we've got about a 100-acre tract of property. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we put the farmer on notice that not to plant the crops at that particular tract. We've got a couple of prospects that are looking seriously at that property. And by doing so, we kind of tied his hands as far as planting anything. He's at, we also have to pay damages according to our contract if he plants those crops and they start making good corn and so forth. And he's out his investment, so we put him on hold, and by putting him on hold, no, there's no foul either way. But going forward, something needs to be done on the property, regardless if somebody is going to come and we negotiate with him a lower price on the per acre rental. That way he comes out at the end of the year, if he uses, say, 30 acres to an industrial prospect, and he's got corn already up, and then we would technically have to add to pay him. But if he could do a lower price on, you guys are aware of that, you guys have heard about this before. What's the court's thinking on that?
What,
You guys received a memo.
what price range did he, I know he was talking about.
About 2 1/4.
2
versus
1/4,
400
and he accepts all risk?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, question. The,
That's just for that chunk of property up against the Bluegrass Park.
yes,
99
yes.
Right. There's actually like 99.5 acres there. Only 80 of it's actually tillable. So the other part of the contract that we have, we can
Remains
still
the
set
same.
the other rate.
The question is, assuming if we get a contract and we sell this, the proceeds from this goes to county, goes to the buyer.
Once,
I would say it stays with the
once the
county.
seed's in the ground, according to what I've been told by other
If the
sources,
county's-
it's in the counties.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Well, then, if it goes all the way through and the deal don't go through,
He only pays us for the number of acres that they actually
Destroy.
obtain. No, they actually can crop.
but it's only gonna be half of what it was.
Yes.
Right.
The rate
So
of
just on this here.
because you've got a late crop.
Right.
It's not late yet, they ain't
Oh,
fine.
for
They're
corn,
planting right now.
Well,
Corn is late.
corn,
It's-
they would have already planted the corn. So now they've had to back up and they're going to plant soybeans. And they're going to plant what's called short soybeans. I'm getting new to this terminology over the past year.
Right, it's like three
Short beans, they mature quickly, Sam. I think Sam
Bob,
can
you know
explain
about
it
that?
to me. The problem short,
You don't do it.
They've done so much of this corn.
Right now, it's still full season beans though, so.
right, but the reason he would want to do short beans is to try to get them off before the factory comes in. That's the only reason he's planting short beans. So what he's saying is, for the reasons you can't plant corn, now he's on the short beans to get them off quicker. But that's the reason the price keeps going down and down and down on the price per acre, because they just can't get the revenue off of it.
I'd say let's do that per acre on what is disturbed this year. But the rest of it.
Sure, yeah, no, the
Still
rest,
needs to be 452 an acre.
when you say what the rest of it?
Well, I mean, they're not gonna disturb the whole 100 acres this year. We're in the
But
middle
the
of the year.
problem, I'm trying to speak for the farmer here, but what he's telling me is, the issue they get into is now he's spent money, say there's 80 acres out there, right, Keith? And 40 of it gets disturbed. He's got 40 acres, and he just ate the beans, the fertilizer, the labor, everything involved in that. So he's gotta eat that cost. I mean, he doesn't get anything out of us on it. So only the remaining 40 acres does he pay us for. See what I'm
At
saying?
225.
The 225. Right now, the way the contract's written, we ain't get any, zero, off the entire 80 acres over there.
It'll be zero.
So we're trying to come to a mutual agreement of trying to build some revenue and make it fair to both parties.
And then we don't want all the
Let
thistles and stuff.
him farm it at a lesser rate, or he doesn't farm it at all, we don't get nothing.
Right now, if you go out there, there's thistles about that, that they're gonna have to deal with, and that's another problem for them.
We're
They're
gonna
gonna
pay
need sprays.
$10,000 versus maybe 40.
Yeah. It's just a compromise. Actually, they approached me about it. I had written a letter, because I knew what our contract was, to stop them on that one side, because if they had planted out there before we got them the letter, it would have cost us big money.
Well, the 225 is not a bad compromise, versus the 300 versus the 150.
It
and
was,
this and
it
that.
complicated. And
So,
I
yeah.
just,
Could get a motion that.
Yeah, I'll do that. We're still, like I said, they're still not gonna be hurt any. It's still full season bean time, so they're gonna do good,
well, but
assuming they don't have any damage.
Right.
Or if we sell.
And the reason he's still gonna plant the short season, because
Right.
he's gonna try to get them out there and then off,
Before
if
the
this
thing
deal
happens.
goes through. That's the reason I asked him, so why can't you plant full season? He
There's
said, well,
actually-
I'm playing the game of trying to get them off before.
There's
the
actually
industry
2 or
comes
3
in.
projects that are
Okay.
Look
So,
at-
yes, I'll make a motion to that effect, that we reduce its rate
to 2 1/4.
for this year only, on that section
Correct.
only,
Okay.
to 225.
And I'll write the contract up for that and get,
Motion's been made by Sam Hutchins. Is there a second? Second by Terry Hahn. Any further discussion?
Question.
Yeah.
How long does it take for us beans to go through? 3 months, 4 months? Oh.
3 months. Well, they ought to be off by October. I'd say late October, mid to late October.
Yeah, if you get a rain.
So 4 months from now. I just don't think that's gonna happen after 4 months.
I don't know, that's the risk.
I know. I understand. Half's better than nothing.
Now, what else can he do at this point, though, Brad? He can't do anything else.
Motion's been made, motion's been second, discussion's been had, all approved, say aye.
I can tell you
Is
this,
this
man,
approved?
we only got 30 grand for it, less than that the first year I was here, that was our thing.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
And it's-
That's a no-brainer. It's 20 grand versus.
And all of that,
Hey, but Judge, the person that's taking it, will he pay us?
Oh,
Last year,
Okay.
that's the only thing I can say. I paid last year.
And, you
We
know,
have-
we may be full profit again next year, you know, we've gone through this before.
Yeah.
We've gone
People
through
that
this before,
didn't
we've had
pay.
industrial
That was
prospects
a
with different
different
old
farm
boards, but we've never had that much money involved. It's usually pretty simple, but when you get $400 and some an acre for farm ground versus, back then it was $60 or $70 or $80 an acre for farm
It was
ground.
$35 an acre.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's a completely different ballgame when you're dealing with real money here. But that's why the court really needed to go ahead and act on it today. Thank you all. Anything else, guys?
Dean, one other quick
Yes.
thing on this, grade off. Did you have a chance?
Here's what I want to do, Jim. You guys are going to go through it today, I understand, or the next day or two, see what was done. We're not going to pay, the bill's not going to be paid till the next court meeting anyway. Yeah. I'd rather go through it, make sure you guys are satisfied with what
Make sure you're
comfortable with.
If that's something that that's no problem.
Yeah.
Brought this on.
Motion to adjourn. Bernard Ice, make a motion, second by Jerry Hahn. All approved, say aye. Disapprove, motion carries.